Getting your car stolen is already bad enough, but getting targeted by scammers because you got your car stolen, well, that's just adding insult to injury.
CODY, I saw your post about your stolen car. I suggest you contact this company.
He's like, I have your vehicle location located.
Yeah, I can give you the address, but you gotta pay.
How much do you want us to pay?
500.
And the LIV Golf Tournament, funded by Saudi Arabia, kicks off its stop in Oregon today. But families who lost loved ones on 9/11 are protesting.
American golfers who are getting in bed with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Here's the story. I'm Pat Doris. Welcome to The Story. All the ways to communicate with us right there at the bottom of your screen. You can email us. The address is thestory@kgw.com, or use the hashtag TheStoryKGW on Twitter, or leave us a voicemail. Call our phone number, 503-226-5090. For many of us, a car is the second most expensive thing we buy right after a home. So it's a huge psychological hit when that car is stolen, and in our area, that happens all the time. In fact, on average, a vehicle is stolen every 48 minutes in Portland. And now, scammers have started to take notice of that. As investigative reporter Kyla Boshi explains, they are now preying on the people who've had their cars stolen.
You'd think a 40-foot motorhome couldn't just disappear.
It's huge.
At least that's what Lisa Olson figured until someone ripped off her motorhome near Delta Park while she and her husband were off watching their son's baseball games.
Never, ever in a million years did the thought cross our mind that it could get stolen.
Like many others who've had their vehicles stolen, Lisa scrambled to get the word out, posting pictures and a description of her missing motorhome.
My first step was to jump on social media and just try and get it on Facebook as fast as I can, because the power of social media is incredible.
Soon, Lisa started getting direct messages from complete strangers suggesting she reach out to a company on Instagram that helps recover stolen vehicles. Desperate for help, she did. The company claimed to be ethical hackers who had access to all kinds of surveillance systems and could recover her stolen vehicle via beep location technology. They messaged, "I will run a beep location test on your vehicle VIN to confirm the tacking capacity. If it responds, then I'll track it."
I'm not mechanical. I was like, okay, it sounds like something that can probably be done.
When Lisa provided the address where her motorhome was stolen, the so-called hacker sent her an image of the location. And when she shared the vehicle's VIN number, they responded with all kinds of details about the make and model. It's information that's readily available to anyone on the internet, but in that moment of desperation, it seemed legit. It was convincing.
He's like, I have your vehicle location located.
Until they asked for money, $1,500. After payment, we share the current address of your vehicle. Lisa stopped messaging and didn't send any money.
And I was like, ooh, that was enough to give me pause and be like, okay.
Over the past year, Portland has seen a rash of stolen vehicles. On average, a car is stolen every 48 minutes, and scammers have taken notice, preying on crime victims.
All right, here's another message from another fake Facebook profile.
CODY Williams was inundated with similar messages after his car was stolen in February.
CODY, I saw your post about your stolen car. I suggest you contact this company on Instagram. They helped recover mine a few days ago.
So you got a lot of these.
Oh yeah. Oh, I could scroll down. I got for days.
The companies claiming to help use a variety of names and profiles on Instagram. To better understand how it all works, we messaged Ninth Tech on Instagram, the same so-called hackers Lisa interacted with. They explained, we recover stolen vehicle via beep location tech and CCTV hack.
He's giving me the same spiel he gave Lisa, basically. There's live cameras he can hack into. He can track our vehicle. It's the same song and dance.
The so-called hacker claimed to have found our vehicle, which was never stolen. I just got signals coming from the speedometer and odometer of your vehicle. Then, just as I'm messaging explaining that I'm a news reporter.
Oh.
Instagram audio.
He's calling. You ready? This is Kyle.
Yeah, I can give you the address, but you gotta pay.
How much do you want us to pay?
500.
500. And how can we pay?
We accept payment via PayPal. Do you understand how crypto transactions work?
I'm an investigative news reporter with KGW Television in Portland, Oregon. And I'm working on a story on scammers who prey on people who had their cars stolen. He hung up.
If anybody from Instagram says they are a hacker and can help you find your car, that is not true at all.
Titan Crawford helps run the PDX Stolen Cars Facebook page. He warns these so-called hackers can't really locate your stolen car. Plus, there's no need to pay. Tens of thousands of volunteers are willing to help for free using social media.
And it's just something we do. We drive to work and we see a vehicle that looks suspicious. We run the plate, confirm it's stolen, and then we try and track down the owner.
Facebook groups like PDX Stolen Cars and PNW Stolen Cars have helped countless people find their stolen vehicles. Again, for free.
It's awesome when we help find a vehicle.
Including Lisa Olson. Volunteers on PDX Stolen Cars and PNW Stolen Cars helped spread the word on Facebook about her missing motorhome. And within 24 hours, several people spotted it driving around Portland. They reported back, posting updates in real time on Facebook, and notified police, who eventually found the 40-foot motorhome abandoned along a residential street in southeast Portland.
Throughout this whole thing, the only thing that still makes me emotional is how many good people there were who helped us.
It appears someone had broken into the motorhome, got it started, and took it for a joyride.
You want to see the locks that got drilled out?
Lisa said there were signs of drug use. The inside was pretty trashed, and valuables were stolen. But most importantly, it came back in one piece.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's like I said, it's kind of surreal that the whole thing disappeared, but the thought that we have it back is, it's our home. So it's our second home, and we're ecstatic to have it back.
Kyle joins us now. Kyle, it takes a special kind of lowlife to prey on people who are already victims by having their car stolen. Who are these people and where are they?
That's a good question. We really don't know where they're located. I asked the one person I reached on the phone, they wouldn't say. Honestly, they could be really anywhere. I mean, they're essentially trolling social media looking for posts about stolen cars. And in this day and age with technology, again, they could be anywhere in the world.
The other thing that struck me was your statistic about how often cars are being stolen around here. What is going on with that?
Yeah, so they are actually recovered quite often. According to Portland Police, about 92% of all stolen cars, they're actually recovered. Now, what kind of shape they're in, that's a different story. But they are recovered quickly as well. Police say about 80% are recovered within 30 days.
But why are they being stolen every 46 or 48 minutes?
Yeah, so really a number of reasons, often connected with drug abuse and other crimes. Police say the primary reason is temporary transportation. So people are literally stealing cars to get from point A to point B. They're joyriding. Additionally, many cars are stolen to be stripped. Those parts are valuable. We've been reporting about the catalytic converters, for example. And then some are stolen to be resold. They're disguised as a legitimate car.
And it's just such a psychological impact on the people that are having their cars stolen. Maybe a joyride for those folks, but certainly not for the victims that they're victimizing. And so I guess also finally, if somebody gets their car stolen, don't take suggestions from other people on the internet of, hey, you ought to check out this company.
Right. So report it to police. That's really important. And then if you do post it on social media and say, hey, be on the lookout for my car, which is perfectly fine. Again, there are people willing to help for free. It's when you get those direct messages soliciting, hey, we can help you out. And it seems a little questionable, a little bit shady. The language is off. That's a scam.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully your warning right here tonight will help shut that down. Thank you, Kyle. The controversial LIV golf tournament started today at Pumpkin Ridge Golf Course west of Portland. The Golf League is backed by Saudi Arabia. It's a country the FBI says provided support to the hijackers on 9/11. About a dozen family members of the victims flew to Oregon to protest the tour. They call it shameful. Here's investigative reporter Evan Watson.
This new tour is backed by the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund. offering huge amounts of monies to fewer golfers to compete in fewer events. Protesters say it's a clear example of sports washing, spending to deflect attention away from the government's reported human rights abuses. Some of the world's most famous golfers have accepted millions of dollars to compete in the LIV Golf Invitational, creating a schism in the golf world and complaints of sports washing by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Some of my greatest memories were playing golf with my dad.
Sean Passananti's dad died in the North Tower on 9/11. The last time he saw him was on the golf course.
He loved bombing drives more than anything.
Passananti and about a dozen other family members of 9/11 victims flew from the east coast of Portland to protest LIV Golf.
To speak out against American golfers who are getting in bed with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the kingdom which our own FBI says facilitated the murder of our loved ones. It's shameful, it's disgraceful, and this should never have been allowed to happen.
We'll never forget, the FBI found significant connections between the Saudi government and the 9/11 hijackers.
The 9/11 Justice Group paid for this ad, which is running across all 4 Portland TV stations today, including KGW.
Smart's accused killer escape Oregon justice.
Before this week's tournament, professional golfers like Bryson DeChambeau sidestepped questions about the Saudi Arabian funding of LIV Golf.
From my perspective, we're golfers. We're providing entertainment globally, and will continue to do so as time goes on.
But family members of 9/11 victims said comments like those are callous, ignorant, and hurtful.
And I want to ask everyone to consider, who is considering to take this money, is what if it was your family? What if it was your loved one in that building?
The LIV Tour has marketed its events as innovating and reforming the sport of golf. Juliet Scalzo, whose father was one of the hundreds of firefighters who died during 9/11, said the tour's existence shows a lack of accountability.
After 9/11, this country and the American people swore to never forget. Well, here we are, nearly 21 years later, with no justice, and the responsible parties are being allowed to operate on American soil with impunity. It is shameful, it is wrong, it is hurtful.
Evan Watson, KGW News.
The concerns over Saudi Arabia's involvement in the tournament go beyond the country's connections to the 9/11 attacks. The Saudis are also accused of helping its citizens escape the U.S. if they're charged with crimes here. And that's happened in Portland. It happened several years ago. In 2016, a Saudi student studying at PCC was charged with a deadly hit and run of a teenage girl who was crossing Hawthorne Boulevard. Fallon Smart was 15 years old. Abdul Rahman Noura was arrested. Police discovered the 20-year-old had 17 parking violations and a suspended license. With financial help from the Saudi government, he bailed out of jail, but was ordered to wear a GPS ankle bracelet. 2 weeks later, though, before his trial, investigators say Noura was picked up, driven to a property in deep southeast Portland, and his ankle monitor cut off. The Saudis confirmed he arrived back in Saudi Arabia about a week later. Oregon Senator Ron Wyden has called for justice for Smart's family ever since that happened. He recently said this about the LIV Golf Tournament.
This is the cruelest possible insult to the family of Fallon Smart. My hope is that Oregonians don't help the Saudis write another grisly chapter in the sports washing playbook by supporting this tournament that helps to normalize these Saudi atrocities.
Fallon Smart's family has not said anything about the tournament. In 2019, the Oregonian reported on many other Saudi students who disappeared while facing criminal charges across the U.S. That includes 4 men accused of sex crimes while studying in Oregon.
A lot of people agree Portland's form of government is pretty dysfunctional. The Charter Commission wants to change that by restructuring City Hall. But a current city commissioner is preparing to campaign against it.
A truly unprecedented, revolutionary, new form of government for human beings.
When the story continues.
Welcome back. Keep sending your questions and comments to the story at kgw.com or give us a call. Leave a voicemail, 503-226-5090. The question of whether to change Portland's form of government will be in front of voters in just 5 months, and you are going to hear a whole lot about it between now and then. Tonight, we've learned City Councilor Mingus Mapps has a PAC, a political action committee, that he will use to hold a series of events with speakers who will poke holes in the plan that voters will see in November. The plan calls for expanding the number of city councilors, hiring a city manager, making the council a group that sets policy and no longer runs city departments like they do now. It would also carve up the city into 4 sections and elect 3 councilors from each section. Today, I got a chance to interview Mingus Mapps and pressed him on whether in the end he will vote for or against the proposed changes.
The commission is completely independent. Council doesn't really have the option of revising their work. So this is what we have.
Which way are you going to go on that?
You know, I want to be fair. You know, the city administrator piece is a do or die thing. If we want to know why Portland is consistently failing on some basic problem, it's because we can't coordinate services across city bureaus. We cannot wait another 10 years to fix that problem. At the same time, I do just have concerns about how is that good thing worth all of the other unknowns and potential dangers that are part of, you know, what is just a truly unprecedented, you know, revolutionary new form of government, you know, a new form of government for human beings.
Okay, but
the stakes are high.
If the city manager's a do or die thing, it sounds like you're a yes.
One thing that I have learned in the, year and a half, 2 years I've been on council is that it's always possible for things to get worse. So it is when things work, it's because people have worked thoughtfully to put together a system that actually works. So, you know, I want to see how the discussion goes. Right now, I have probably more questions than I have confident answers.
I think one of these days we're going to give Mr. Mapps a pivot award. That was some pretty good pivoting right there. My read is he's against it, especially since he'll use that PAC to poke holes in the plan. But he's also leaving himself the option of going for it if he changes his mind down the road. On the other side, a co-chair of the Charter Review Commission, Melanie Billings-Young. She helped present the new proposal to the City Council yesterday.
What did you think of the reception from the City Council yesterday?
I thought it was interesting that the mayor felt that we were not giving enough power to the mayor, and the commissioners felt that we were undermining the role of the councilors by increasing the size.
You think it's just a classic, we're the people in power and we're threatened by the change in this system?
I do.
Is there any way to overcome that?
Well, ultimately, when the system is changed, there will be a lot of new people in power, and I don't think you ever change the sense that people are losing something. We're seeing that across the nation. People don't like it when they're in a comfortable position, and that position or what they believe that position should be is taken away. But what we have really aimed at is broadening the representation in the city, especially given more representation and more attention to the east side of the city. And traditionally, that has not been where the city has been run.
Sure seems like there's going to be a battle over changing Portland's form of government. Maybe not so much whether it should change, but probably how it should change. Last night, a number of you shared your thoughts with us on what you think of this proposal. Steve wrote in to say, the fact is, though, that this city is appallingly badly managed right now, and whatever misgivings Mr. Mapps might have, this is a once-each-decade opportunity to try to fix some of the problems. Fighting over the details because of some perceived imperfections that make the whole package less than perfect might cause us to end up stuck with the sad and unconscionably dysfunctional system we live with now. And Paul called in and left a voicemail saying he served on several boards of various sizes in business and outside of business, and he believes 12 commissioners is just too many.
7 is the ideal number for a board. You can go to 9 It makes it a little bit harder to get the work done, but it's still workable. But once you get past that, you're getting, it's too big, it's too cumbersome.
Cheryl wrote in to say, I will vote no on the current package proposed by the Charter Commission because multiple member districts make no sense. It's a setup for a classic mom versus dad situation of, well, mom said I could do it. Ranked choice voting is complicated, hard to explain, and will result in electing someone that no one really wants, she writes. Linda also called in to let us know that she is not a supporter.
I don't want it at all, and many of my friends don't. We consider ourselves progressive. We believe that every city commissioner should represent all of the city, and we should make them represent that and be responsible to that. And we don't need 12 people to spread around responsibility that's been, except for basically Joanne Hardesty, in which no one's done anything. Dan Ryan has been the most do-nothing. Our mayor is horrible. And so, of course, people want to change, but the change is not that one.
And we'll give Kate the final word for tonight anyway on this. She wrote in to say, I suspect that the current commissioners, along with a percentage of voters, are displaying a fear of change and concern that the change in governmental structure could lead to unanticipated problems. However, given the serious problems we face in Portland, I personally don't think that it's good enough reason to not support a change that could make Portland a better functioning city. Thanks to all of you who shared your thoughts. As always, I'd love to hear from others of you who are thinking about this. What do you think? Good idea, bad idea? Send me an email. The address is thestory@kgw.com or call and leave a voicemail, 503-226-5090. Well, before it was Dame time, it was Draft Dame time. We're diving into the KGW vault tonight to see where it all started for Damian Lillard and the Portland Trail Blazers. When the story continues. If you're a big basketball fan in Portland, you might remember this moment. 10 years ago this week, Damian Lillard was drafted by the Portland Trail Blazers. He was the 6th overall pick in the 2012 NBA draft, and it's safe to say worked out pretty well for both sides. Here's a story from the draft that we found in our KGW vault.
The Portland Trail Blazers select Damian Lillard of Weber State University.
Damian Lillard's a 6'3" point guard who played 4 years at Weber State. He averaged more than 24 points a game plus 5 rebounds and 4 assists.
He's a great compliment to LaMarcus Aldridge. I mean, there's a very good chance we're a half-court pick-and-roll team, and this is one of the best pick-and-roll point guards to come out in recent memories.
I'm just excited about what I can bring to those guys, how I can play off of them and what I can bring to the table.
5 picks later, the Blazers get their big man.
Myers Leonard from the University of Illinois.
Myers Leonard, 7'1" and 245 pounds. He's leaving Illinois after just 2 seasons. He's an energetic player. He averaged more than 13 points and 8 rebounds, plus 2 blocked shots per game.
He's over 7 foot tall. He runs like a deer. He jumps out of the building. He's got great timing on block shots. He's got touch. He's a 73% free throw shooter, which leads me to believe he's going to be a 15 to 17 foot jump shooter. Very good passer.
I'm just going to look to come in and try to prove myself and work as hard as possible every single day.
You know, the things that stuck out to me as a coach, their passion and love for the game. I mean, they're gym rats. They're going to stay in the game. They're going to stay in the gym. They want to compete. Those are characteristics that are important for us, have always been, and will be going forward.
The Vault. Love that. Keep sending your questions and comments to the story at KGW.com. When we come back, how you can help our community. This week, our Hey Help campaign goes to Friends of Service to Humanity, also known as FISH of Vancouver. They're a food pantry that's been around for more than 50 years. They feed more than 1,000 families a month, but they say their inventory is low right now, and the number of people who need their help has been increasing in the last few months. To donate, just turn your phone's camera on and hold it up to the QR code there on your screen. That'll take you to a donation page, or you can always go to kgw.com/heyhelp. Well, that's the end of our program. Thanks so much for watching. But remember, the story, our story, it never ends. I'll see you tomorrow night.